Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Have a Pint. Today we have Drone Fleur Belgian Tripel from Brickway Brewery and Distillery. It is a Belgian style triple, 10.2% alcohol by volume, 40 IBUs. It gets an average rating of 3.85 on Untappd. This beer is part of their Bison series of beers. They always bring out one every season. And it's just a bit bigger beer. Yeah. They always have one every season. Can't really see. Maybe I can get this to where you can see it. Yeah. And for the fall, it's the Drone Fleur. And also, Brickway is obviously from Omaha, downtown. And this one is going to have a lot of head. Last episode I uploaded, I said I wanted to start also naming where the brewery is from, which might give you an idea if you can possibly get it in your area. This, I'm pretty sure, is not distributed outside of Omaha, especially this one. There might be some Brickway offerings that are, but I don't think so. Jesus. I thought because it's a bigger beer, bigger pour would be better. And now I'm sitting at 3 fingers of head. This giant ass glass isn't handling it. Let's get towards the middle here. We're almost there. It's only 12 ounce. And we're there. I don't think we broke. Did we break on your side there? I don't think we broke. Alright. So, that one's down, that one's out. I'm pretty sure I had their last one, too, for that season. Don't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure I did. Also from them, I did the Wild Olivia Big Bottle Series beer not too long ago, which I really want to buy another bottle. They don't have it anymore, but stores do. But I bought 2 more from them. And this is a style beer I don't drink very often. There's a Doppelbock, which is another style I do not drink very often. And a barley wine, which again, I do not drink very often. The last barley wine I had, technically you could call 120 Minute IPA a barley wine because it's in that area. But before that, can't tell you when the last time I had a barley wine. I'm not huge. It might have been Estes Park Brewing Company's barley wine. Their red rum. I think it's red rum is that one. I've had all of Estes Park Brewery's beers. Nothing's good, but nothing's bad either. Like the worst brewery around here, I would take over it, honestly. Like Granite City is food and beer. I'd take them over it. Empyrean, which I think's dropped off a lot, I'd take them over it. But yeah, anything around here I'd really take over Estes Park Brewing. But, you know, it's in Estes Park. But anyways, our heads decreased rapidly. Pretty light body, you know, cloudy to see through, but we got mostly larger bubbles at the top, smaller bubbles at the bottom there. Still a fair few bubbles rising. kind of musty on the odor. Like almost floral. There's definitely no fruit to this at all as far as the smell goes. Well, not really floral, but more like grassy, that kind of stuff. That's honestly all I get out of the head on this. Or out of the smell, sorry, not the head. That's sweet but bitter. It's got a caramely sweetness to it, but unlike unlike Scotch ales or wee heavies, it's not sickeningly sweet caramel. Right up front, you get that caramel sweetness. I think it's the middle when that hoppiness kicks in. I'll tell you what, though. It's been a long time since I've had a beer from Belgium. The last one was Hoegaarden, which I had many times. I love Hoegaarden. But if somebody were to give me this and say, where do you think this is from? I'd say, this has to be from Belgium. Like, it's not the cream of the crop Belgian beers, but it tastes like something that would be sought after from Belgium. But it's not that complex. Like, I get that caramel sweetness that comes in on the front of the palate and carries all the way through. I get that bitterness in the middle and on the end of the palate that keep that sweetness in check. But this is so much sweeter than that 40 IBUs would indicate. I think this is an incredibly well done beer. And what is it, 10.2? Something you got to be careful with because it does not drink anywhere near that. It drinks, I would say at like 7.5% alcohol. But I think they did a very good job balancing that out. But honestly, those are the only two things I get out of this. So the caramel maltiness and the hop bitterness. The caramel malt sweetness and the hop bitterness. The other thing I have for this episode, my top 25 for college football. I don't think this is Tuesday. Don't think the episode will go up today. I'm either going to have 2 or 3 go up today. If this goes up Thursday instead, and it should, either way though, I'm going to be either cleared out on videos today or on Thursday, so there will be no videos going up a week or 2 weeks after they're recorded. Which reminds me, I got one going up today that's, I think, a week and a half old. But now it's going to be up, so not a big deal. But yeah, I got my top 25. As you can guess, number 1, we don't have to talk about that. like I said in the first one for the first ranking, they're by themselves. As much as I like the next four, I think they're a second tier on their own. But at number two, I still have Clemson. Sorry, I am not going to fault them for a close loss to Syracuse, who is teetering on the top 25, and I think they're going to end up being in the top 20 by the end of the year. Georgia keeps rolling. Got them at number 3. Ohio State number 4, which they might end up passing Georgia, maybe even Clemson. They're looking phenomenal. Notre Dame at number 5, they might do the same thing and jump Clemson and Georgia, because I need another week or so, but it's looking like Alabama's by themselves. Nobody, don't need to talk about it. But it looks like on a second tier, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame, and then it's Clemson, Georgia after that. But Clemson will be fine. They got a freshman quarterback that's a phenom. I got UCF bumped up to 6 just by virtue of some losses. Washington at 7, Penn State at 9. Or 8, sorry. And I've jumped Michigan up to 9. They are rolling. I cannot wait to see them against Ohio State. I think they might have played Penn State already. I could be wrong. I got Wisconsin at 10. But Wisconsin, I got a little less worried about Wisconsin than Oklahoma. They got the opposite issue. But I'm not as worried about their offense as I am Oklahoma's defense, who I have at 11. And Oklahoma apparently has a lot of problems with their defense because they just let go of their defensive coordinator. And it looks like they're hiring Bob Stoops. Or not Bob Stoops. They just let go of Mike Stoops from the defensive coordinator position, and they're going to hire Bob Diaco. Bob Diaco, when Notre Dame first came back a few years ago from being a subpar team, Bob Diaco had their defense as the best defense in the country. And then he left there. But I have LSU at 12. Florida jumps into my rankings all the way up to 13. I am high on Florida now after what they've done. And yeah, I know they beat LSU, but I mean, they covered a lot of ground. LSU dropped 6 places, and Florida's gone from unranked to 13th, so that's pretty good. I've bumped Colorado up a few places to 14, because they just keep rolling. Nobody's been able to figure out Colorado yet. We'll find out, though, when we get into their meat of their schedule, although Stanford's looking like they're going to toast Stanford. I don't know what the hell's gotten into Stanford after that Oregon win. They've dropped. They've gone downhill. I got West Virginia at 15. I know a lot of polls have them in the top 10, but I have the same worry with them as I do Oklahoma. They don't have as good of an offense as Oklahoma either, but they have no defense. Which another team from that conference that is very close to getting ranked by me is Iowa State. Iowa State does not look like the same team that was on the field for the first few weeks. They are looking good. Texas went from unranked to I got them at 16 after beating Oklahoma the way they did. Oregon I have at 17. Miami at 18. Auburn's dropped down to 19. I noticed that last week I had them ranked twice. Nobody yelled at me. None of you called me out on that. None of you ripped me a new one for that. But they're at number 19. Kentucky has dropped to 20 after their loss to A&M. But Kentucky's still doing good. I was saying before that game with A&M, if they could get by A&M, they'll have one loss, which would be Georgia. If they don't, I could see them going 10-2, which is actually what I saw from them is more than likely a 10-2 record. Which, for Kentucky, the way they've been maybe a 500 ball club, I think they'll take a 10-2. I would take a 10-2 right now. We're 0-5 for the first time ever, I think. But South Florida at 21. They're making their first appearance for me. They're undefeated. They're rolling. But of course, when you're playing competition like they are and UCF is, it's not that much of a surprise to be rolling. A&M comes in at 22 after their win over undefeated Kentucky. Miss State at 23 after their thrashing. Who did they thrash? I don't know. Internet's working like shit right now, so I'm not about to look it up. NC State jumps in. I think they're undefeated. Yeah. And Stanford barely stays within the rankings after being in my top 10. And that is what I have for this week. I feel like that'll change again, but I think you're starting to see who the top 10 teams are. It looks like, for that top 10 we got 2 SEC teams, an ACC, an independent, whatever the hell UCF is, Pac-12, and it looks like we have 4 from the Big Ten. Now, of course, being a Nebraska fan, I am high on the Big Ten, obviously, but I am shaky on Wisconsin, like I said, because they have a better offense than they've had in recent years, but they're still very much defense to win. But it's nothing like Iowa has one of the best defenses in the country. They're not showing up on this list, probably ever, because that offense is atrocious. You get them against a good team, they might not score at all. Now, granted, even if that team has a high-powered offense, they might only score 2 or 3 touchdowns. But Iowa probably would not score, and that's why they're not on the list. But I'm pretty confident Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State pretty much staying in the top 10 until they meet each other. And then obviously someone's dropping a little bit. And with Oklahoma, I'm more comfortable with position 11 just because of how it's the Big 12. Big 12 is never going to go anywhere until somebody can find a defense. Hell, TCU used to be only defense, not much for offense. They enter the Big 12 and they start to go balance, and then offense high and low defense. And that's why TCU's dropped out of the top 25. That's why they've got a few losses. Is because they become an offensive team and no defense. But anyways, that's it for this episode. Actually, it's not. It's not, is it? No. Would I buy this again? Absolutely. This is beautiful. I don't drink triples a whole lot. Partly because American breweries don't really do triples that often. Next fall, I will be getting this one again. I think at the brewery, because I go to the brewery to buy their beers anymore, because I don't want there to be a middleman. But I think they're $11.99 at the brewery. I know they sit on the shelves at the liquor stores and such for $13.99. They could be $12.99 at the brewery, but So we'll go off the $13.99 that it is at the store where you'd buy it. Even for that price, yes, I'd pick it up again. Last time I had a triple this good, it was honestly a Belgian triple. I could not tell you what it was. But I've never had an American triple I enjoyed anywhere near this much. This tastes more like a traditional triple than like the hopped up versions that a lot of American breweries go for. Like New Belgium has a triple, or has had a triple that was fairly hoppy. Same with Boulevard, had one of their smokestack series that was fairly hoppy, and I didn't care much for them. Like you can taste that out of this, but that sweet malt is balancing it out, and I honestly think it's making it better. Like I didn't expect to get through this so quick, and it's getting down there. But like I said, it's dangerous. Rating, I'm honestly gonna go 4.5. Like I said, I've never had a American Belgian style triple that was anywhere near as good as Belgian triples, true Belgian triples. This stacks up with them. This honestly stacks up with them. I am high on this. It's not a style I enjoy too much, but I really enjoy the Belgian ones. And this is possibly the first American one I've really enjoyed. Uh, so, with that said, till next time, Prost.